Hello and welcome once again to the Varlastan Circle, a D&D 5e adventure in a homebrew setting brought to you by Penance RPG, an actual play podcast and Twitch variety stream. You can find out more about Penance RPG at penancerpg.com or in the stream information below. I'm Lunrwolf, an occasional variety streamer and creator of the Varlastan setting. I'll be guiding our cast through the trials that await them. Dragon.
Hello, I am Dragon. I'm in an awful lot of Penance stuff, and you will recognise my voice from all the other bits. I am playing a Aasimar Ranger who is called Araya. She is a weird mix of idealistic and somewhat cynical about people. I imagine in any other setting she would probably be very suspicious of anyone and everyone around her. But, you know, Varlastan is good to its people.
Okay, Eden.
I'm Eden. I'm playing Silic, a Tortle Paladin. I stream occasionally. I do Clone Hero things, Jackbox on Saturdays, and I also do a bit of role playing with AJ.
Okay, Amy.
Hi, I'm Amy. You might recognise me from a lot of pen and stuff as well. I'm also an occasional cast member on Pretending with Dice. I'm playing Jack Herring, who is a happy-go-lucky little gnome, who is also a rogue. And yeah, they're very excited about their adventure, their new adventure.
Okay, and AJ.
Hey, I'm AJ. I'm playing Timidar, a dragonborn wizard who everybody seemed to get a little bit suspicious of last time, just because I'm just asking questions and didn't go down so well. But yeah, I'm the host of Pretending with Dice, another RPG podcast, and yeah, a lot of everybody else on here, pretty much except for you, Greg, have been on it.
We'll get there at some point. Okay, before we begin, I have a retcon announcement. I'll try not to make these too often. At the end of the last session, we had everyone taking their watches through the night, and Arya had a really bad night's sleep. I ruled that came at the cost of disadvantage for the next day. On closer inspection, I'd overlooked, because no one ever uses it, the exhaustion rules. So we're retconning that Arya has one level of exhaustion, and therefore will have disadvantage on all ability checks until after her next successful long rest.
I am quite glad about this change.
That depends what sort of rolls you think you're going to be making today. Remembering that last session we saw exactly one die roll from the party. However, it's a new day. You are part of the way towards the Lesser Ixna, the minor river that is in between you and your destination of Plista's turnip farm. How would you like to go about your day, and how would you like to proceed?
I think I'm going to start by regretting eating those moths during my watch, but I'm not going to mention it because I don't want anybody to know about me eating the moths.
I think you already told us.
That was a mistake. I'm not retconning it. I'm just saying I probably shouldn't have said it.
I would tend to agree that was probably a mistake.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like you guys already think I'm a bit weird, and knowing that I was sat there eating bugs in the middle of the night is probably not going to help my standing. So I'm just going to be kind of brooding on that, in a sort of like, oh gosh, I should not have said that. I think this was the voice I went with. It's kind of like that. Yeah.
Yes.
We got there in the end.
I think Raya is probably just really confused. Like, she wasn't expecting to have such a weird night. Didn't expect anything to happen during her watch, or indeed for that to then mean she couldn't sleep properly. So she's probably going to be a little bit more sluggish and just following what the others agree on.
It's okay. I will sing you a song. You can join in with me and Timidar as I teach him the songs of my people.
Really a very good singer. More of a
You're
hummer.
a better singer than I.
I'm glad I'm not hungover.
It'll cheer you up.
Good thing we didn't buy any
something.
beer in that pub then, isn't it? Yes. Or did we? Did we buy beer?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
One each
I'm
except
surprised.
for
Timidar
your-
has amnesia.
Yes, one each except for yourself, Timidar, who preferred a glass of warm milk.
You're right. I did have a glass of warm milk. I did not question the sauce.
No,
Mhm.
no.
You didn't
not.
order it with sauce.
And we tried to prevent Jack from getting a whole pint.
Which you all failed miserably.
We tried.
Johnny?
I enjoyed that pint. It was a good pint. It was my first big pint.
One whole pint.
Not only a big pint,
From
but a
wee
heavy
tiny
pint.
gnome hands. And a heavy pint. I was a very merry gnome.
You were indeed.
Well, Silic is gonna lead out the head of the group then, and he's kind of motivated and is trying to get to the next step and wants to go and meet. Could you refresh memory on
Plista.
the? Sorry,
Plista.
Plesta. Yeah, going to meet Plesta, and is kind of perhaps a few steps ahead of the rest of the group, and occasionally looking back as he realizes he's kind of getting ahead, and isn't necessarily like there's no chagrin about these guys chatting and what have you, but he's very much focused on the mission and the idea of like, well, we're off on this journey, like onwards.
Onwards it is. Does anybody want to do anything special while you're en route?
I want to be looking around in case of danger.
Trying
You
to
never
not
know
sun
what's-
it.
I mean, there's
Yes.
always a risk of some danger, but
You never know what's going on in these farmers' fields and such. There could be robbers or creatures or turnips,
Or-
anything.
Or they could just be toiling the soil like farmers do.
Sounds pretty suspicious to me.
I mean, if they're gonna conjure a turnip monster, then I'm gonna have to say something, but we haven't seen no turnip monster yet.
Yet. Yes. It'll
Yeah.
happen, mark my words.
I've never heard
tell of a turnip
monster. Where do you even get these ideas?
They leave
Think
no
of the
survivors. No one dead men tell no tales of the turnip monster.
There's a lot of T's in that.
Yes, it's quite an exciting sentence to say.
Raya is just kind of plodding along, just not getting too involved.
Yeah. So I
I
want to be
really-
looking around at the countryside, I think.
I think
Just in
Jack
case.
and Timidar are just swapping little jabs about the turnip monster and how terrifying they can be. And
Yeah.
just having a little bit of a little joke.
I feel like it's more of a joke to Jack than it is to Timidar.
Yeah.
Timidar is
Yeah.
fully on high alert in case of vegetable monsters.
that seems appropriate.
Silic is kind of pondering the nature of the world and whether he's truly seen everything with what's being talked about, and wondering the limits of what they might see along the journey.
Day 2 of our world journey. Have you seen everything yet?
Well, I don't mean insofar as like he's seen everything, but he's a well-read individual. Let's say he's got an interest in the world itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I tell you, are you joining in with our conversation about monsters, or are you just pondering the nature of it?
absorbing. He's
Fair enough.
Again, yeah, a step or two ahead, just listening back.
Fair enough.
Jack's going to talk about like how they could possibly like fell a turnip monster by going for the root and then just like yanking on the root of it as it.
That's how you get them. You have to get them the root, and that way if you get it, then it's handicapped.
If we boil them for long enough, they'll go soft and won't be able to hold themselves up.
Oh, that's a good plan. But you need a lot of boiling water for a big turnip monster.
Yes, and a giant cauldron.
Where are we gonna get that?
We should be on the lookout for a giant cauldron just in case.
Is there a tall wall to sit on top of?
Yes.
Ooh.
We're going to need a lot of giant cooking equipment in this journey, I can see.
You're gonna need a big ladle. How are we gonna get a ladle that big?
We could carve one out of a tree, maybe.
You've
That
got
would
some
work.
good ideas.
Yes. Always be prepared. I always have a plan. That's what my father used to say to me.
That's good advice.
Yes, I thought so.
Okay. So you walk along having your interesting conversation. And as you go through, you pass another couple of grain fields, and then it starts to turn into ground crop and then root vegetable fields as you progress. There's clearly been a lot of thought given to the way that this is laid out over time. And as you get up towards what you can see ahead of you as a wooden bridge, you can hear a discussion off to one side, just down the riverbank slightly, where you can't quite see the participants.
I come to an immediate halt and sort of go a little bit, not prone, but like sort of make myself harder to see.
Silik is continuing on. He's not looked back for a moment or two, and he's interested to see what's around the corner. So, unless somebody in the group is going to say something, he's continuing on.
I'm still assuming Jack is either singing or talking with Timidar really loudly. So
Just immediately giving away that we're there.
sorry?
Araya wants to listen. What are they saying? Is it interesting? Is it relevant? And
You
this
can
is
hear-
where I need to roll with disadvantage.
Nope, I'll allow you to hear just fine, despite the clamour behind you. All you can make out is that they're very concerned. Whoever it is that's speaking is very concerned because it's just not right. You don't see that here.
Without attempting to hear it, did Silik catch that?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, hearing that, he stops and sort of looks around.
Yeah, the people in conversation are not making any attempt to be quiet about it.
But we are out in the middle of nowhere, so it could be assumed that they didn't think anybody was around.
Yeah.
So we are near a bridge, so you kind of would maybe expect people to be passing at the same time. So
True. Imidar is trying not to be noticed. Let's put it that way.
do they notice Jack singing or talking really loudly?
They don't appear to have done so far.
Jack will lower his voice then and oh,
What's up, bus?
just walk up behind Sarek and be like,
What's up, bus?
It appears that there are people talking about some unusual event or something occurring.
Oh, is it a turnip monster?
Yes, this is a turnip monster.
I've heard no tell of the turnip monster as yet, but, well, let's see, or hear, rather. Is there an
Do you want me
opportunity
to be
kind of
sneaky?
like, yeah, can we, like, terrain-wise, is there an opportunity to sort of sneak up on these people, like the sound of where the conversation is coming from? Any cover, anything like that we could approach and perch behind?
There are some trees along the crest just atop the riverbank, but you're not sure from the road whether you'd get a great deal of concealment from them.
Okay. I'm not a particularly stealthy kind of guy, big turtle.
Jack would like to offer.
I'll go. I'm small, little. They won't see me.
Fantastic idea, little one. Go
I
and
will
gather
go try.
intelligence for us.
I will try.
And putting up his hood, Jack will go and try and blend into the grass, the tallest grass he can, and get as close as he can.
Okay.
Listen.
What do I roll?
You can make me a stealth check.
Again, what do I roll?
Roll a d20.
Yep. The answer is always a d20,
$14.
unless we're actually doing combat.
14.
What's the score on your stealth on your character sheet?
Plus 2. So 16.
16. That's more than enough. You can wriggle your way through the trees. A combination of the cover from them and your minute height means that you're able to get close enough to see them without really being noticed. So you can see there are 4 people of various species standing around a small bucket and looking at the contents of it.
Jack's just going to tilt their head and be like,
What's in the bucket?
I'm just going to sit and listen for a little bit.
Okay. The main speaker is slightly green tinged and about 6 foot high, but is very insistent that it's not what they expect to find here, and they don't understand what it's doing.
Okay. Jack's going to be very confused and wander back and relay this to Silik and the rest and be like,
I don't. What do you think is in the bucket?
Maybe somebody pooed in the bucket.
Ew!
Such an
The thought.
imagination.
Yes, mammals, you're all weird like that, aren't you?
I'm no mammal.
Yeah, just in general. I know you're not.
Timidor, I'm really worried about. Because you've got weird sleeping habits too, and. Are you okay?
No, but that's a subject for another time.
Oh. One of these days you're gonna have to tell us on the road. Just me and you. Come on, bud.
We did talk digestion on the road.
Well, maybe it's something else then. Look, I'm just throwing out ideas here. We're all kicking in ideas.
Nobody wants to kick that idea.
Just because I went first doesn't mean anybody else can stop kicking ideas. Maybe it's something else. Silik, what do you think's in the bucket?
I honestly don't know. But be honest. Let's be honest here. They're just people looking in a bucket. We should probably just talk to them.
I mean, if there's something strange, Considering we're going to find a farmer that's disappeared for days.
It might be linked. Oh.
Maybe it's a head in the bucket.
Oh. Really?
Let's be sensitive
Could
about
be.
this. Let's not walk up to them and ask,
go look.
"Did you poo in the bucket?" or "Is there a head in the bucket?" Let's simply see.
Walk out. What's in the bucket?
Simply just
What's in the
ask.
bucket?
What's in the bucket?
Silic is just kind of like, he's getting weary and starting to shake his head now at Timidar. Just like, what is this? Like, he's never met anybody like this.
Jack's just like really confused and slightly horrified, and also really concerned. Like,
What do you think's in the bucket then, Jack? If it's not a head or a leaving.
I don't. It could.
There's no wrong answers here. What's the first thing that pops into your head when you think a bunch of people looking in a bucket going, that shouldn't be there?
While these two are talking, Silic tries to catch Arya's eye and give a little kind of like nod to the side. Like, these guys are fixated on talking about this. Shall we take a step aside and have a quick chat and perhaps do our own thing for a moment?
Yeah. Araya walks over, kind of looking back at the other two, slightly concerned.
I'm not sure what this Timidar is talking about, but shall we simply talk to these people? You seem the most sensible of our group, perhaps.
I mean, talking to them seems the easiest solution.
Have you any talent in this? Are you one in the ways of persuasion?
Not massively, but people tend to trust Asimers. That might help.
Let's simply present ourselves as helpful individuals and see what they say.
Yes.
And with that, Silic kind of starts pacing off in their direction with Arya.
Okay.
Hey, Timidar, hey, look, they're leaving us now. We've got to go. We can't. We're gonna go check out this bucket. Come on.
All right, but if it turns, look, I'm just saying it could be anything. Be prepared.
Yeah, it could be anything, but nobody is going to say that. Just that's a bit weird.
It could just be a fish that they didn't expect to catch in this river.
It could just be a toad, a really weird, ugly toad.
Could be. I feel like, look, I said there's no wrong answer just because I went first.
Going for the disgusting choice. That's like off the deep end. And that's coming from me.
Poor Timidar.
Like I'm being very judged right now, and I don't like it.
That's
It does seem
unfortunate.
unnecessary.
Okay,
It's very surprising.
so you're going to approach the group of people and see what they're up to.
Yes. Araya's going to walk over with a friendly smile on her face.
Okay.
Yeah, likewise. As much as possible. I don't know what the range of expression for a turtle is, but he's trying to look friendly.
Jack's gonna just put his fingers in his, like, the straps of his package, be like, oh, oh.
I'm gonna hang back a little bit, but still be visible.
Okay. So the group that you're approaching, who look up to see you there, one, as I said, is somewhat green tinged and about 6 feet tall. One is tanned and about 5.5 feet. One is almost 6 feet again and very clearly a lizard folk, red crested and green scaled. And one about your height, Jack, but with red skin.
hello. We were just passing and heard voices and thought we'd say hello.
Silic's going to attempt to greet them in Aquian just to see if any of them speak it.
No, none
That's
of
just
them. None of them speak it. You just get an odd look from the lizard folk, who recognises what it is but can't speak it.
Ah, excuse me. Hello. Perchance, we heard you speaking of a bucket and something strange. We are on our journey for the circle. Perhaps we could help you. What strange thing do you have in your bucket?
Oh, we didn't expect to. Oh, I suppose that would be quite useful. It is probably where we were going to direct the oddness. And it certainly saves us having to have one of us traipse into Valipur for it. So that's quite useful that you just appeared there. Sorry, where are my manners? I'm Norin. And as you can see, we're just fishing this stretch of the river for food for the locals. And we have an odd catch.
Ooh, what you get?
So Norin, which is the tanned human female, steps to one side and lets you look into the bucket. It contains a very unusual, pure white fish.
Ooh.
What colour are its eyes?
They appear to be normal fish eyes. It's not an albino.
Unusual.
It's pretty.
Very unique.
Do we think it might be magical?
It wouldn't be. It wouldn't harm to check. Nope. It wouldn't hurt to check. Oi, Timidor! Come look at this
Hello,
fish.
yes. Is it some kind of brown trout? Oh no, that's not what I was expecting.
It's pretty.
Yes. What do you need me to? What do you need me for? Sort of looking around at the people a little bit, kind of warily as well.
Well, is it magical? Can you check?
Let me just. Well, I don't actually have any detect magic spell or anything like that. Let me just see. This looks like a fish. I mean, no way of knowing. Could be.
Okay.
I mean,
Which
if
case-
you're particularly invested in checking Timidar, you could reasonably make a test for it.
Oh.
Disappearing dragon.
Yeah. Oh, no, okay. There we
There we go.
There we go.
go. Okay. Would that be an Arcana check?
That would be an Arcana check.
I thought that was a knowledge-based check, that one, but okay. I have a +3 in this, so this could go terribly still. That would be a 12
Okay.
total.
As far as you can tell, it doesn't appear to be a magical construct of any kind.
Right.
Okay.
Turning to the assembled group, Silic's going to quizzically ask, was there anything unusual about the catching of this fish? Anything about the place where you caught it? Or did anything else happen alongside the fish landing in your nets or on your hook?
Really not. There's just not even a group, just an occasional one of them over the last couple of days we've seen here, and we managed to snare one in amongst our usual haul. But it's not something that we know of as a local fish, and we can't think of anywhere where we would see something like this.
An invasive species, perhaps?
Well, it's possible, but they're full grown. You'd expect to see different stages if it was newly introduced and reproducing here, surely.
Point.
Unless this comes from a species of giant fish, and this is the young stage. They're so big.
Maybe someone had them as pets and they let them go. And they're just popping up now and again.
That would be very irresponsible.
It would be. Shouldn't do that. But
So, if we don't think it's magical, so if we think it's natural, in that case, beasts are as a favoured enemy type, which means I would get advantage on an intelligence check, which means I would get to not have disadvantage, basically.
It would today, yes.
Yep. So, going to do a intelligence check to see if she's heard of fish like these.
Okay.
Possibly if there's any like other distinguishing features other than the colour. Like whether they're similar to other fish in their size, their particular morphology, or whatever. In 17.
Yep. So with a little bit of poking at it,
Perfect.
you realise that actually the only thing unusual about it is the colour. Because if you compare it against one of the other fish in the river that they've already caught, it's almost exactly identical, other than being pure white.
That's strange.
Has anybody
does it-
travelled upriver to see if there is a potential source for these unusual fish?
Well, no. That was something that we were going to ask for someone to be organised out of Valipur for that. That's certainly not something we'd want to be doing. You know, we only have our fishing rods. That would not preserve us if your colleague's concerning suggestion of a giant fish further upstream were accurate.
It's true, you can't be too careful.
My colleague has an unusual and wild imagination. You'll have to forgive him for putting thoughts in your head. A giant fish in this river seems unlikely, but perhaps we could be the ones to do this for you.
On
What's
zero
it?
chance, though.
But first, we have to see what's happened to Plista.
Priorities.
There is no concern with these fish in terms of... Has anybody ingested them and had a bad turn or anything of the sort?
No, we haven't dared. We've only just caught one of them here, but we certainly haven't endeavoured to eat it.
Erring on the side of caution seems sensible. And
do you
perhaps...
think we should open it up?
If anybody feels that they have enough knowledge, perhaps, to glean something more from killing this fish, then perhaps we should. But otherwise, my thought is that we should travel on to Plista, see if there is potential overlap in these unusual happenings. And if not, then we could return and check the river.
Very well.
Fish seems to be completely normal. So, I mean, other than its color, but you know, you do get weird things happening with animal colorations at times.
Perhaps. Are you saying that you think we should eat it then?
No. You never know. It might be poisoned or venomous or... I forget which way round those go.
Poisonous.
That's the one.
For the first time, I agree with you, Timidar. Continue to err on the side of caution. Do not eat these fish.
The first time?
I think Timidar's always cautious.
It's like my
I
whole
think
deal.
that's why we were suspicious.
It's beyond caution what Timidar does. His thoughts are wild, as I say, and spurious.
I take offense to that, sir.
Well, we shall have to learn to understand each other's ways in time, methinks.
You can't prove there isn't a turnip monster or a giant fish in these waters.
Well,
Very hard to prove a negative.
this is
Absent
true, but
evidence.
our quest will take us in the way of this knowledge. We will know, perhaps before the day is done.
Perhaps.
Oh, okay. And so you'll come back and have a look for us?
Yes.
You have
yes,
our
I
word.
would be happy to.
Okay. Thank you. And if something should befall you and we don't hear from you, who should we say we met with when we go to Valipur and ask for assistance there?
I'm Silic.
I think Silic is probably the most distinctive of us.
Yep, there are very few people that look like him.
In time, our group will become renowned, no doubt. But for
Thank you.
now, if you go to the town and speak my name, then no doubt they will know of us.
Thank you. We will wait for a day or two for your return, and if not, we will seek the advice of the representative in Valipur. Thank you. Okay, so you're on the riverbank next to the bridge, which is the continuation of the road you were following towards Plista's farm. What would you like to do?
I've got a minor kind of just curiosity question. Can lay hands, it can cure a single instance of disease and poison. Can it do anything to exhaustion? Can I, because having noted Arya's tired, this thought crosses Silic's mind.
No. Unfortunately not. It would be a good perk for it, but it's a bit overpowerful if you can do that.
But yeah, it just kind of means you don't have to sleep tonight.
I mean, she'll need to sleep tonight, otherwise there's going to be more exhaustion tomorrow.
Yes, let's be careful.
I mean, it wasn't even the sleep that was the disturbing bit, it was being on watch.
Yep, it just ruins the sleep for you afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, other than that, nope, Silic is very much, yep, full speed ahead, once again.
Okay.
Jack returns to singing songs.
Come on, Tara. Come on. Do the line.
I'm coming along. I'm just not, like I said, I'm not much of a singer.
That's why you've got to practice.
Not all of us can sing, even if we practice.
Nonsense. I don't believe it for a second. Everybody can sing.
Oh, honey.
Kind of enjoying the spirit of the group. Silic is kind of smiling and turns to them and goes, I'll keep a time, and starts clacking his claws against his chest and trying to hit like a nice metronome like beat. for them to.
Hey, what kind of time signature are you rocking on the shell there?
So sweet.
Giving us
Jack,
weird
Jack's
prog
just-
rock beats.
Jack's ecstatic. They're just going to clap hands with just like carry on with the singing. Oh, three wise men went down. I don't know anyway. I'm tired.
No, go on.
Teach us this song.
I would if I hadn't been up at 5 o'clock this morning.
There we are. You have a side mission for your downtime to write some songs.
I will do it. I will do it. I will come back next time and have a song for you. I will make it extra no-me just to be safe.
We look forward to it.
Watching song or something.
I will sing you the song of my people.
Pretty much.
Okay, so across the bridge without issue, carrying on up the road. It's still root vegetables you can see planted in the fields on either side. About another hour's worth of walking takes you up to a farmhouse. You see the gate as you round a bend in the road. Farmhouse from here looks like it's perfectly normal. There's nothing very interesting about it relative to the other ones you've noticed across fields as you've travelled.
See any signs of movement at all?
Yeah, have we seen any farmers?
You've seen occasional farmers at a distance, but unless they were close enough to the roads to really interact with you, they wouldn't be terribly relevant as you were passing. At this farm, you can see that there is a small greyish looking person on the far side of the yard, and you can see that the door on this side of the building is ajar, and you can see movement through it as well.
Have we come what feels the right sort of distance based on the directions we got to Plista's?
Yes, this should be about where Plista's farm is.
That's good. Just
Jack's gonna
making
knock.
sure we're not like still 5 hours walk away or something.
Jack's gonna knock really loudly and just be like, "Hello."
Is that
We're
on the
from the
gate, or are you
circle.
going into the into the farm to knock on the door of the building?
No, I'll just stand at the gate and just shout from the gate. Hello, we're from the circle. We've come to help.
The small grey figure on the other side of the yard jumps as you shout, and you think you might even hear a clatter from inside the farmhouse.
Oh, I might have startled her.
So they give us a big hearty wave.
The
Timidar
door-
prepares a chromatic orb spell. Just mentally at the back of his head, just in case.
The door.
I'm not like standing there holding. You know,
I should
I'm just
hope
like
not.
I'm aware just in case. We don't know who this is. This could take a terrible turn at any moment. Better to be prepared.
Always the Boy Scout, Timidar.
No, not so much that, so much as just like
Paranoid.
twitchy and always ready to fire off. So I don't know many Boy Scouts who are ready to just like defend themselves. I don't know many Boy
We
Scouts
wasted
anyway. I just
building.
I'll stop right there.
So the door
Let's
to the
move on from this
farmhouse
line of-
opens, and a tall, pale but with a slight outdoorsy tan, red-haired female figure walks out. with a towel in one hand. She looks a bit unsure who might be shouting from the road at her, but she sees that you're not overtly threatening her, so she comes over to speak to you.
Hi. Are you Plista?
Hello. Oh yeah, yes, I'm Plista. Hello. Who might you be?
My name's Jack, and these are my companions. This one's Sirik. This is Sirik. This is Araya, and over there is Timidar. We've come from the circle. There's been a few people worried about you.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm very grateful of it. So you've been speaking to Matusho, is it? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we spoke to two people, really. We spoke to the barman, and we spoke to some old guy who was going on about his old past, like, experience.
One of our superior officers.
Yeah, that one.
Who helps?
That sounds like Matusho, yes.
Yes.
I've heard that tale a few times, often in his tropes.
I am sure. Yeah.
Somebody told me that. Sorry, somebody told you that I had a problem.
Not so much that as that you hadn't been seen at the previous market day, and they were concerned that as to your safety and well-being.
Was that Eifnod by any chance?
He may have been one of them.
He never quite recovers from how much of his stock I can put away at the end of a market day.
Yeah, he did say that sales went up when you were around.
Well, he doesn't make as much from that inn as he deserves, and a little trick here and there to neutralise the contents of my glass doesn't go amiss. He's happy, I'm happy. He's never getting me, but he'll keep trying. Now, it's not really business at this point, but it's definitely going to be business from my point of view, if we can get a harvest out of here.
I see.
It's been a few weeks now since we've managed to take turnips out of the ground in any quantity, which is why I haven't been down to market for a little bit.
Jack's going to get a little bit excited.
Is it because of the turnip monster?
Yes.
Oh, has that circulated far enough?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm delighted. Would you like to meet the turnip elemental?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Damn
it, we were so right.
I turned to Silicon and see, none of you believe me.
It's kind of like my
Well,
apologies.
If you'd like to meet the much vaunted turnip elemental, about whom no doubt stories are being told as we speak in Valipur.
I want to hear all the stories.
It's just leaning against the side of the barn there. Please feel free to have a look.
Araya just kind of looks around and then whispers to Silik, "Who's betting we find a scarecrow?"
Jack's too excited. Jack's going to run round like a little child.
Silik doesn't
Oh my
know
god! Turner, come on!
Silik shrugs at Arya and kind of, I guess is Jack running off at this point to try and have a look at this thing?
Oh yeah, I'm totally running off.
Oh,
I want to see the elemental!
Kind of pick up a pace behind and kind of look to the rest of the group
Yeah,
What's happening right now? Let's see what's around this corner.
I'm very aware. I don't want to get taken unawares by this turnip monster. So again, I'm kind of like I'm prepared for shit to go down. But I'm also happy that I've been proven right about the existence of some kind of turnip monster.
I literally just picture Jack just like tugging on Timidor's like sleeve, going, "Come on, let's go!" and like running away, and then like coming back and like, "Come on, hurry up!"
Yeah,
Yep.
following along.
Leaning against the barn is a very large and very impressive turnip with sticks jammed into it for limbs and a crudely drawn face.
At the sight of it, Slick just bursts out laughing. Yes, quite the turnip monster.
Jack's face kind of falls, but then kind of like comes out into this big giant grin. He's like,
That's gonna be amazing at Halloween.
Don't
That's
let
gonna
your
be
guard
amazing.
down. It might be just trying to lure you in to strike.
Oh, it could be a disguise. Is that what you're
Yes.
thinking, Timidor?
Timidar, and yes.
While you're saying this, Silic wanders over and gives it a nudge with his hand, kind of like gives it a little punch. Not hard, but like enough to like shake it.
Yeah, careful.
You don't want to break it.
It wobbles as you touch it, but it's completely inert.
Ah, well, are you satisfied now, you two?
I'm so satisfied. So satisfied.
Well,
Best day ever.
your appreciation of it seems quite pure, for Timidar. Could we perhaps put a dampener on your paranoia at this point? Is this
No,
enough to put you at ease at least a little? The
No.
lands are safe. The circle has made it so.
If anything, this makes me more worried that you are all being lulled into a false sense of security by this false turnip man or turnip elemental. And what you're gonna do? You're gonna let your guard down, turn your back, and bam, turnip right through the skull. Never saw it coming.
Tim, you know it's gonna be like an amazing lantern at Halloween. Like, how big is that turnip? How big?
This one, yes, it's the real monster that we need to be scared of. The one that, you don't see it coming because you're too busy laughing at this construction over here.
Like, it's still early. We could still find it.
Suddenly from behind you. So, how do you like my turnip elemental?
It's amazing.
Is it everything you wished for?
Well, if I'm honest, I kind of wanted it to be like attacking us, but it's okay.
Well, I only have minor tricks. Having something attack you would be quite outside of my skill set.
That is quite all right.
However, the actual problem can be shown to you much more clearly by my assistant, Doyne. She gestures over towards the side of the yard where you can see the small grey figure that you'd seen before is pretty much exact heights with Jack. And looks over, nods at you, and then carries on with what you realise is digging.
What is this actual problem?
Yeah, why you haven't been to the tavern, to the market in so
Because
many weeks?
because we can't get a harvest.
Oh,
The problem is the lack of harvest. We can't get the turnips out of the ground.
how?
Are they
how?
stuck in the ground, or is something eating them before you get to them?
Do you not have enough help?
Is this a matter of simple labor? Are we about to harvest turnips for you? I've no quarrel if so, but it's a little more mundane than my companions had expected.
I mean, it'll be a workout at least.
Well,
Just think of it as gym.
Goin will be able to describe exactly what occurs, but we've only taken maybe a tenth of what we would normally take from the ground in the last fortnight.
Oh.
Well, let us speak to your assistant.
Thank you. If you need anything else from me, I'll be in the house.
Thank you, Plista. We will head over to the assistant.
I will do my usual knock on the door and hello.
Which door are you knocking on, given that they're in the yard? And have already acknowledged you.
Oh, okay. Well, Jack will just start looking at the door, just be like, poke their head through. Like, hello? And then search for the assistant.
They're in the open behind you.
Oh, are they in the
All
open
in
behind?
the
Oh, sorry.
courtyard.
Oh, sorry. Oh, they were in another room, sorry.
Nope, they're in the yard. They're busy digging.
Oh, yeah.
I guess we'll go over and offer to help.
Afternoon.
Hello.
The missus has said you sent you to talk to me about the turnips then.
Yes, she has. What's,
She implies that there's some complication with extracting these things from the ground.
Aye, you pull on one, it pulls back. You pull on it again, it's gone.
Start looking meaningfully at everybody else.
You might find your turnip monster after all.
It's not a good thing.
So they're stealing the turnips from underneath.
Yay, someone's just having off with them.
So there's a burrow, a hole left behind as you attempt to pull the turnip away.
That's the darndest thing. You can see I'm digging to try and find it, but I've not yet seen a single burrow.
So the turnips simply disappear.
Aye,
What, the whole plant? Like roots and all?
aye. It's just like someone's harvesting it, but it's not me.
That's so weird.
Has there been any other events, or has anything unusual preceded this occurrence?
I've not seen nothing.
So you saw something.
No. You'll pardon my phrasing.
Apologies.
And there's nothing distinctive or magical about in the interaction where yourself and whatever it is under the ground are both tugging on the same turnip.
I've not seen anything, but I don't know. It's not my area, really. I don't know anything about magic.
Do you know an awful lot about turnips?
Enough to get by. As a turnip farmer's assistant. She doesn't need more than one of me, that's for sure.
Would you forgive me for attempting to extract one of these turnips, so that we may observe the occurrence?
Aye, be my guest. It's over there and haul on it.
Okay. So Silic wanders over and kneels down and grabs firmly on one of these turnips and gives it a yank. Hard enough to get it out of the ground. Not like he's not going to give it like full force straight away because it's just a turnip and he's thinking this is normal turnip extraction. Let's see.
Okay. Can you give me a strength check, please?
Okay, that's 17.
How hard are you tugging your turnip?
I rolled a 16.
Okay. You haul on the turnip pretty firmly, and with an odd ripping sound, you fall over backwards, clutching only the above ground portion.
Ooh.
Okay.
Can we quickly try and look at what's left in the ground?
There's just an empty space where the rest of the turnip should have been.
I cast Ray of Frost into the empty space.
Okay.
I love it.
Just in case.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I mean, it's a roll to hit one, so I guess.
I'm going to let you automatically hit the ground. That's
Oh,
fine.
fair enough. All right. It was...
And you're not going to kill the ground, so you don't need to roll damage either.
Fair enough, but I would have done 5 damage.
That bit of ground is a little bit frosty. That's not
we
going to
hear
be very
anything?
useful for growing a turnip in for a little until it's defrosted.
Fair. Kind of answers my question that we don't hear anything make a noise, that it's just been turned into an icicle.
Yeah, it's not. There's nothing in the hole other than ground.
Okay.
Alex got onto his feet and brushed himself off and feels a little bit embarrassed and kind of looks at the group.
You okay?
Strangest thing, it was in my hand, I could feel the weight of it, and then it was gone.
Could you try again, but dig your hands in and grab onto the main sort of bulb of the Is it a bulb? That's onions, isn't it?
It is a root.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Grab onto the whole business and
It would be a laborious technique to do this for all turnips, but have you attempted to dig around them and extract them with perhaps that method?
I mean, we've tried a few things, but it's just not seeming to make a great deal of difference. We've tried digging it up. We've tried digging under it. It's just a bit odd. You maybe see more from this hole I've managed to put in. Certainly your small friend here. Sizes with me get in there no problem at all.
You want me to go in the hole? Okay.
Go exploring, Jack.
Oh.
be careful in case of badgers. I hear they can be vicious.
It's alright. I got my dagger. I'll be good. Right. I'm gonna get myself in this hole.
Okay. It really is not a great deal more than a hole. It's not a tunnel or anything like that. But it puts you down at about the same level as the turnips.
You see anything?
I don't yet. I haven't looked yet.
Do I see anything?
What are you looking for or at?
Can I see the base of the turnips at all, or like the edges of them?
Yeah, if you knock a little bit of dirt away, you should be able to get close enough to see one.
Okay. Is there any damage to the root system or material or stuff?
It looks
around
like a perfectly healthy turnip. How close are you to it?
Probably, Jack would like to wrap their hand around it and try and hold on to this turnip and then yank it, but hold on to it and see what happens.
Okay. As you reach to wrap your arms around it, there's a purple flicker and it just vanishes.
Ooh! I think someone's magicked it. There's a purple flame, and then it just goes poof and disappears. think we need some magic attention investigation down here.
You want me to get?
Timidar.
You want me to get in the hole? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know if you have to get in the hole, but you have to at least look for some, like, I don't know, witchcraftery. I don't know. I'm not. You're the wizard.
Okay.
This is your domain.
Does anything look magical to me? Anyway.
Nothing immediately appears to be magical to you.
My work here is done.
While he's been doing that, and this conversation's inspired thought, Silic has been using Divine Sense, and has he felt anything within 60 feet?
No, there's nothing that Divine Sense will trigger on within 60 feet.
Looks around at the group, says,
It seems all of our senses are failing us. I cannot detect anything desecrated or unusual around us.
Your contemplations are interrupted by a squawk from going. Yeah, there was an arm there. An arm on my turnip, and then it went away.
an arm?
It's the arm made of turnip.
No, it looked like your arm or my arm. Mind you, your arms are much bigger than my arms, but it was your arm's colour and my arm's size. How's that?
What angle was it grabbing from? Where exactly did you see this as the turnip disappeared?
There was some sort of flicker on the ground, and it was just there, like grabbing sideways, like it was what I would do.
What, like swiping it?
Just reaching in and hauling it up, same as if I was harvesting it my own self.
Oh.
So there's something. Sorry. The cats are currently screaming at me. I completely lost my train of thought.
Occupational hazard of cats.
Yes.
Yep.
So there's something that only seems to be harvesting the turnips after people pay attention to them. So when someone tries to harvest a turnip, something else gets in there and swipes it first. But it's not just clearing out the field of its own volition. So for some reason it's doing it in response.
Here's an idea then. Jack, if you grab another one, and right when you grab it, I'll cast Ray of Frost on the turnip.
Okay.
Maybe we can freeze whatever it is. Well, if not in place, we'll at least give it a nasty bit of frostbite.
Okay. I'll get myself ready. I'll pick a good turnip.
Okay.
Okay.
And I...
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Here we go.
I got a 17 to hit.
Well, the good news is you didn't accidentally freeze Jack.
Hooray!
That was a concern.
That was a concern. It's not fire. It's not going to happen to me.
No. I have no fire spells. And I rolled a 5 again on damage.
Okay. Your plan almost works. You freeze the turnip as an arm reaches for it. But the arm finds a frozen turnip and recoils surprisedly and disappears.
So, what you're saying by my plan almost works is my plan worked 100% completely, and now we have a turnip.
You have a frozen turnip.
That's fine. That's still progress.
Yeah, we have a turnip that'll keep a little while.
Totally hasn't destroyed the cellular structure.
We're fine. Don't worry about it.
I mean, it's gonna be a bit of a issue if Plista can't freeze them, but at least she's got a solution.
This is true. I mean, I don't think it's a long-term solution.
No.
Unless we particularly want to stay here and help harvest turnips.
No.
That doesn't sound like my idea of a good time.
No.
That's not how I want to spend my loop.
Yeah. Somehow I don't think that would really count as our loot.
No.
Not unless you dig a really long tunnel.
We walked one day out of the first town and spent a year harvesting turnips.
Yep.
Stranger loops have happened.
But we wouldn't get to Sperry's then.
Indeed you wouldn't.
So
Wouldn't be able to find a turnip monster.
if we spend that long here, we'll probably turn into turnip monsters.
Exactly. And I don't really want to become the thing that I most want to fight.
Even this could potentially be seen as perhaps a theft, that these turnips are being taken by somebody. Might it be reasonable to assume that... Do you have a rival in the local area? Is there somebody that you could potentially attribute this to if you stretch your mind?
I mean, you'd have to ask the missus for sure, but nobody around here was likely to be doing anything of the kind. That's just not how it's done, you know.
That seems
Yes.
very strange.
I want to know what's on the other end of that arm, though. I don't
mean,
think I'm
surely it'll be
fast
another-
enough to catch it.
It's usually a shoulder.
I was going to say the rest of a body. You just get... But why only is the arm become invisible? Where's the rest? Why is the rest invisible? Have they got some magic that might...
Did the arm, when we saw it, did it look corporeal or was it ethereal?
No, it was very much corporeal. It looked exactly... It was literally exactly as though it was somebody stood there harvesting a turnip in front of you. It's just that the only thing you could see was the arm. And the purple flicker.
I have another idea. The swiftest among us, and it may be myself, should attempt to grab the wrist. Jack, if you attempt to grab at another turnip, then as you approach and we can time it, I could attempt to grab this strange arm that appears.
Yeah? Yeah. I mean, we don't have any other ideas. We need to know who they are.
So with that in mind, let's prepare the moment.
Jack's all feared.
Silik's kind of like perched on his knee with his hand kind of like in a vague, kind of like he's letting it hover a little bit, waiting to see where this arm's going to appear.
That seems like a reasonable plan to me.
Okay. You count.
3, 2, 1.
Go!
Well, I assume I'm rolling yes.
Nope.
No? Oh.
You've caught the other end of the arm completely off guard. And they squawk as they're pulled through the purple flicker, which enlarges as they pass through it, and then closes immediately.
If I'm strong enough, I would like to, like, as he's pulling this arm up, he's going to lift the person if they're small enough as well, if they're not too tall. He's going to kind of pick them up and hold them by the arm so that they're not touching the ground.
Okay. That's very easily done. They're maybe 3.5 feet tall. They're a red-grey colour, and they are absolutely terrified.
I'm just gonna wave the turnip at him that I've still got in my hand.
Like, you didn't get this turnip though. We got you.
So, why are you stealing turnip? These
Hello.
can I
Oh.
recognize the language?
One of you may make a wisdom check to see if you recognize the language.
We do not want it to be me.
I got a +1 in wisdom. So not great.
I have +2.
Whoever has the best roll should make it. Remember, we're only doing one roll for a test.
I'm holding on to him. Jack, you be the one
Okay.
to try and interpret this.
Okay, roll on the d20. Oh, 20. A natural 20.
Very nicely done. You can recognize it as similar, but not identical, to the language in which you've heard Timidar cursing under his breath occasionally when he doesn't think anyone else is listening.
Ooh.
Timidar.
Yes.
You know when you say, and I'm going to say a word that I've heard him say.
How
You know
dare
when you
you?
say that? What language is that?
Polish. No.
I mean,
Draconic.
it is a very good language to swear in, to be fair.
Draconic. And I thank you not to say that in polite company.
Well, I don't know any polite draconic, so otherwise I would have used it. But it's similar. What he's saying is similar to that. Do you know
mean,
any
do I-
more?
Yeah, do I recognise what the little guy's saying?
So with a little bit of effort and some repetition, and some basic trying to identify things that are likely to be commonalities, you're able to establish that it's a variant from your point of view of Draconic. It seems to be the same base language, but they've diverged over time.
He look draconic, like what you just said he was like a red guy. I mean,
Yeah,
Is he like a-
you recognise the shape as basically the same as a kobold that you would expect to see
right.
in your vicinity. Indeed, there
Okay.
was one amongst the fishers earlier.
Yeah.
But yes, you can eventually manage to establish a bit of a conversation.
Yes, I ask him what the hell he thinks he's doing.
I'm turnip farmer, but my turnips don't move.
These aren't your turnips. These are Plista's turnips.
Who?
The lady who lives in the house over there.
There isn't a house over there.
Sure. My eyes go wide and I turn to check if there's a house over there.
There's a house there.
There is still a house there.
That house, that one there, made of wood and stuff.
What?
Timidar,
Are you tricking me? Are you tricking me? Why are you tricking me?
Nothing tricky about basic masonry.
is it possible that the purple flame has brought him in from some other plane or realm that is very similar to this one?
Hmm.
And that something's gone wrong?
Yes. Where do you think you are right now?
On my turnip farm.
Yes, and where is that?
It's in Loon Valley.
Is that where we are?
That's not the name of the region you're in. The region you're in is Soul Valley.
Well, you've gotten lost. This is not the. This turnip. This doesn't belong to you. is that we're in a completely different municipality here, and frankly, you need to stop right now.
But
This is
it's my farm.
thievery. Look around. Does this look like your farm?
I mean, from this height it does. In this hole, which
It's
wasn't
being held
here.
up by,
Why is this hole
Silic,
here?
isn't
Who
it?
dug a hole in my farm?
This isn't your farm.
But it clearly is for him. Wait,
This
the
is
name
very
of the
weird.
alley that he gave, is there somewhere called that we know in our world?
You're welcome to make your test.
What sort of test?
History for whoever amongst you wants to check.
Got a +3 in history. That helps.
Better than mine.
Okay.
Also, we don't want me rolling
Yeah.
anything today.
21.
Ooh.
You've never heard of it, but it certainly follows the same linguistic pattern.
I don't think they're from the same place that we are from.
I could be completely wrong, but I feel it's somewhere parallel.
I mean,
What year do you think it is?
We don't really worry about years, I guess.
Of course, yes. No, we don't, do we?
who's in charge? Where you are?
We know who's in charge where we are.
No, where he's from. Who's
Yeah, I
in
know,
charge
but-
where he's from?
I know, but do we have anything to compare to?
The circle.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean,
Is it fair to say that Timidar would be acting as like interpreter at this
I
point?
assumed that's what
Yeah.
was going on.
Yeah, I assumed that was the case as well.
What is the name of your lead? Who is your leaders?
The three.
The three. It's more of a triangle than a circle, but
Ooh.
No, circle. Triangle. Triangle,
No.
happy face.
I think you're happy face.
Everything must be good if there's a happy face.
Yeah, that's why people smile, because everything's fine.
This thing, if it's been wielding a magic in order to pillage these turnips.
I
don't know. It doesn't look very magical.
So you think this is some kind of accidental mirror portal?
Well, I think so. But
I
I
mean-
really couldn't give you any hard evidence.
In terms
Other
of general
than-
knowledge, would our characters have like awareness of planes as a concept?
You would have a very passing awareness of the existence of planes, but they're not really something that is gone into unless your training takes you particularly that way, and that isn't true for any of you.
Okay.
I mean, can we go there? I mean, he can come here, but maybe there's a door that goes there.
More importantly, how do we put him back and get him to stop trying to pick these turnips?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, we've brought him here now. How do we send him home?
Well, let's see if there's more of these things picking on these turnips. Somebody try and grab at one.
That would mean you would have to put him down.
No, Scylla can still hold on to this guy, and you just try and pick a turnip, or...
Okay, I'll just pick a turnip then. I'll just pick a turnip.
And
Okay.
I pick another turnip to see what happens.
You have a turnip.
Well, we solved one problem.
themselves. There we go, we'll take this boy back to the town, and, I don't know.
Wait. One moment. Arya's had a sudden thought. What are the fish like in the nearby river? Ask him. Are they pure white? Or do they have colours on them?
Well, what's the... it might seem a little bit out of left field. What's the deal with the fish where you're from? Color-wise and...
Fish.
Wetness
fish,
level.
Fish. Nice pale fish flesh. Fish.
Yes, he says they're white like that other one we found.
Oh, so this is not the only place that's having these doorway mishaps.
Base hole, I like to call them.
Space hole. I don't know. That's a bit long, is it not?
We call it a spole then, if you need to shorten it. I'm not much one for contractions.
How about just a trapdoor?
A trapdoor, well,
Because you're trapped
That
now.
implies a downward step. Okay, we'll go with a trapdoor. Fine.
Nobody expects a trapdoor.
Its chief weapon is surprise.
Exactly.
And hinges.
What am I to do with you? Or what are we to do with you? And Silic gives him a little shake.
I mean,
Yeah.
they haven't really done anything wrong. As far as they knew, they were harvesting their own turnips.
Yeah, in a different place where they worship a triangle instead of this, where they fight for the triangle instead of us fighting for the circle. That's suspicious. It's like false doctrine almost.
Also, I don't know how we'd go about putting him back at this point.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe somebody from higher up would maybe want to speak to him.
Maybe we could find where the fish came from and just shove him through.
Yeah, because there's more.
There
Yeah,
may
'cause
be
it-
some sort
There
of
might be other stuff
passage.
that fell through.
If the worst comes to the worst, we've just drowned him in the river and
That's
Whoa!
Jack's just like, whoa!
I'm just trying. I'm not saying this in a language he can understand. He's not going to freak out about it. Don't worry. Everybody keeps smiling. And
I will not let you drown an innocent in the river.
no, I'm saying that would be the accidental worst of the worst situation.
I see.
Oh, accidentally says.
I'm not suggesting we drown our problems away, no matter how easy and attractive a solution that would be.
In the group immediately shifted there. Did the little guy notice that there was like a kind of like tonal shift or not?
It doesn't appear so. They're too busy being scared. And
Look, he's
very
already scared
confused.
enough.
Put him down. We don't know where you came from, and we can't put you back there. So
Oh,
it's-
we're not sure if we can't put him back there.
We'll
We don't
try.
know yet. We'll figure something out.
we might be able to figure something out. In the meantime, take a seat.
Tell us about this triangle.
Yes. Tell us about the triangle.
Silic's kind of giving Timidar a look like, am I good to put him down? And he's kind of slowly lowering his. lowering his arm.
Lower him down.
He kind of
Yeah, he's Paris.
plops him down on the ground and pats him on the head.
Hi.
Oh, it's okay, little one.
And the triangle is keeps us safe.
And does it keep things organized?
Just realised we were the ones who called it the triangle. Like he just said it was the three. I think I made some
3 triangle.
three.
But
triangle.
no, but he
Yeah,
did
it's
say
fine.
he did say yes, triangle.
Yep.
Yeah,
Triangle,
okay, fair
happy
enough.
face.
Yeah, triangle. happy.
Oh yeah, of course he did. Yeah. Yes, it's
So-
keep you safe. Is that's what you said? Is it organize things?
No, not really organized.
So who are the 3 then? If it's a triangle, who are the 3? Who's number 1, who's number 2, and who's number 3? Are they 3 people?
We just call them the boss, because they're in charge and stuff.
They might not have ranks
Oh.
between the 3.
This thing is certainly not of our world. And if these fish are not of the world either, then this begs questions of the fabric of our reality. This is certainly a more exciting turn.
I mean,
Perhaps we should wrap things up here with Plista and investigate the river.
Yes, let's investigate the river. I wink at.
I will not let you kill an innocent.
Silic.
Jack's not sure what he
some
means by the
energetic
winking
bend
in the river, so he's just gonna awkwardly wink at him and just go, "Yeah, the river."
River, yes.
Araya,
the river.
Araya puts an arm around the kobold.
Mm-hmm.
Most similar to a kobold, at any rate. And it's like, nope. I'll keep
Jack.
this one with me.
Planning on drowning him. And just saying, if we try and shove him through some kind of fish hole, then it's a possibility. Whereas my camera cut off the shoving motion I did.
I'm just wondering how we're going to shove him through a fish-sized hole.
Carefully.
I mean, I suppose the purple flame did expand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
it might expand once
we
we
wait
get a
for a
little
f-
bit of him through.
yeah, we wait for a fish to come through and we just push him back.
Oh. So
We
we
shall
need to
see
find
what
out
awaits the river.
where the highest point upriver is that they found the white fish.
Yes.
And then try and find where it actually is. in the
Plista might know as well, so we could ask her as we swing by
Yeah.
if she's heard anything, and then
How
walk
do
just
we
head
explain
upstream.
this?
We found a thief.
Something weird
Uh,
was going on that he doesn't fully understand, so we're going off to work it out.
We pulled a dude from another world who was stealing turnips that he thought were his own, and we're gonna go look for a fish hole. It'll all make sense.
It'll all make sense one day, Plista. Just know your turnips are now safe.
Yes, we've saved the turnips. That's the important part. Huzzah and all that.
Unfortunately, there was no turnip monster. It
There
was only
was.
a Halloween
You encountered
decoration.
it already. Okay.
I mean, we might not have found a giant turnip elemental monster, but we have found a kobold from a parallel universe who was stealing turnip. So,
it was an unexpected day.
He might also just be lying about it.
I mean, he looks kind of confused.
but
We
and
all
a
look
bit freaked
confused.
out.
I didn't think kobolds made up very imaginative lies very often.
To be fair though, his lies were, "This isn't my farm. This is my farm." Fisher,
Triangle.
pale, triangle. Yeah. More of a password hint than a lie. Yes. No, you're right though. He's no, didn't look the creative type.
Well, his story would make sense with the fish.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
imagine.
that seems completely natural.
We shall have to see whether this is somebody's work or whether or not, as you say, nature itself is at play.
Yes, indeed.
It's here that I would say that we were talking to Plista and then leaving.
Yes. And
Yes.
Moment.
now that we've fixed the turnips, what else have you guys got going on today?
Well, I now have a new person to teach a song to.
Oh, this is
Try and
true.
calm him down. So I will serenade our new is he a companion or is he a prisoner?
What's What's his name?
Novelty.
Yeah, what is his name, I wonder?
You there? What's your name?
Oh, great voice in the sky.
Silence.
He doesn't have a name.
He only has a number.
It is. He's not a number. He's a free kobold. He either doesn't have a name or he's saying it far above the frequency of our hearing. You there? What is your name?
Juji.
Luigi.
Juji.
Oh, Yuji. Yuji. Okay. I forget why we were asking your name.
Because
Well,
Jack
so I
did-
could. Yeah.
Oh
'cause
yes, that's it.
Jack wanted to help, wanted to serenade them with the song, and
didn't know if they were a prisoner or a
yeah,
companion
I
or,
wasn't sure.
or
They seem friendly enough.
uh,
We
Some
didn't
of all
really
the
pat
above
them
at the
down
moment,
for
I think.
knives or anything, though, did we?
I mean, he was collecting turnips, so I don't know.
Do a quick ocular pat down.
Is that what Timidor's doing?
Yeah, I'm just looking for any weird bulges. I guess
I see.
that might indicate some kind of stabbing weapon.
The only weird bulges you can discern upon this kobold indicate that you should probably stop referring to them presumptively as he.
Oh,
Fair enough.
I think it is time to go to the river.
Yes.
We shall bid you farewell, Plista. A bountiful harvest for you.
Thank you, and thank you for your assistance. I'm very
Enjoy
grateful.
Enjoy your harvest. Hopefully, you'll have a good pint next time you're in.
I'm sure I will.
You also say something. And wave.
Bye.
Like, okay, awkward goodbyes are done. Let's get back to the river.
The most socially awkward wizard of all socially awkward wizards. Just die gently on stream, it's fine. So, you going back down to the river?
Yes.
Yes.
are we following the river up, guys, or are
Yeah, we want to go upstream.
Yeah.
I feel like we
wanna
should
go-
explain to
We should go
the
back to the
the
fisherman.
kobold where we're going, though.
I think if we go back to the fisherman, then we can check whether that pale fish is the same that the kobold knows from home. Kuji,
Mm-hmm.
her name. So check if it is indeed what Kuji is used to from home. Seeing something else from home, but like mixed into a different environment, might actually help her feel a bit better. And it probably makes it easier to explain that we need to find out how the fish got through here. And if we can put her back through, we will.
Okay.
It might be easier once we can like show her the fish.
As we're walking on back towards the bridge, then, Silik's gonna ask. Oh wow, sorry, complete brain fart moment. The thought was queued up and then it completely disappeared because I'm tired as hell. Apologies. What was I gonna say?
You're asking someone
Oh,
something.
Could you ask Koji if there have been any disappearances in the local area? As it seems that perhaps if we're gaining local wildlife, then surely that's been noticed.
I do so.
No, I don't. don't know of one.
Thing gone. No, not even just people. Anything seem a bit thin on the ground. No
Everything's
weird,
thin on the ground, but nothing unusual.
no weird space holes to nowhere.
Anything new turned up, perhaps? We're assuming it all goes one way.
Is anything weird? Any turnip monsters?
If Kuji was grabbing the turnips from our farmer's land, then what did Kuji observe on her side as she pulled the turnips away? Surely there would be, on her side, that the turnip would not have been picked if they were picking it from our side.
Now, things grow fast and slow, and always have. Farmer's life is hard when you can't plan it.
That sounds horrible.
Are you saying that there are no seasons, that you cannot plant seeds and expect a certain amount of time to pass and for there to be plants, that nature simply acts on chaotic whims?
It's not that big. If I plant 5 turnip, 2 turnip ready fast, 2 turnip ready slow, 1 turnip ready when should be ready.
A temporal warp of sorts, perhaps.
Ooh.
Something very strange is going on.
And turnip monster, not monster, little turnip doll. Appear, random, no idea.
Ah.
Nearby farmer play trick. Tuji no.
Did it have sticks for legs?
Yes, and
Oh, I think
like
I think-
weird stick. Very expensive trick.
Expensive? Why expensive?
It's weird stick.
the type of wood that was used, maybe.
Tuji has only seen this wood one time. In
Oh,
big house.
Ooh,
Oh, so wood is rare, maybe.
No,
some sort of luxury material.
Yeah.
but not wood. Wood.
No.
Local wood, fine. Those stick, not local.
It might be from our side rather than her side.
Does this mean a traveler, perhaps? An individual who has passed between the realms?
It certainly could be. This is starting to seem bigger and bigger. Koji, are you hungry?
Yes. Always hungry. Everything is thin underground, even food.
Araya kind of looks around the rest of the group like, that's not the situation here. Sounds like something's gone badly wrong over there. And she'll dig into her bag and pull out food and give it to Kuji.
Looks odd. Smells good.
Try it.
Kuji will bite gingerly into it and then happily munch through that set of provisions. I assume you're walking along at a reasonable pace while you're doing all of this.
Yes.
You're not going to be very far now from the bridge.
We hear the fisherman still, or
You can hear fishermen chuntering, certainly, about the quality of their catch. It doesn't sound like they're still stood around the same bucket discussing its contents.
Can we recognise any of the fishermen as the ones we spoke to earlier?
Yeah, they all look to be the same group that you saw earlier.
Then, yeah, I guess we should go over and speak to them.
Okay.
So, hi. We found some more awkward, weird things. The fish appear to be completely natural and safe. But they're not from here, as far as we can tell.
Yeah. Told you it wasn't local.
Can the kobold fishermen talk easily with Kuji? Or are they still having the language issues?
They're examining each other curiously, but don't appear to be making an amazing amount of headway on conversing.
We're going to do some more investigating and see if we can find out what's going on with this. The next time one of you are heading back to the town, could you let our local office know that there's something strange going on with non-local things appearing, and that we've gone upriver to investigate?
we have a possible spole situation. Don't know what we mean. I assume.
Spole?
Yeah, you heard me.
Do you
It's a
invent
it's a
words?
technical term. I don't expect you to fully grasp it, but if you pass that on to our superiors, I'm sure they'll get the message.
Very well. Matrusha, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll see it done.
Thank you for your help.
If you still got that fish, by the way, we need to show it to our companion, I guess.
Sure. Bucket's over there.
Excellent. Go over, grab the bucket, and bring it over to Kuji. Like,
That looked familiar.
normal fish?
Fish! Pale fish. For
Okay,
Kuji?
then.
This was very productive.
Silic calls
Just
back.
pick the
other
fish up, hand it to Kuji, and then I'll give some coins to the fisherman.
Kuji is deliriously happy and starts feasting on the fish. It's clearly
Holding a live
something
fish.
of a treat.
I'm assuming she's going to smack it on the back of the head to kill it, rather than eating it live. I don't need
It's-
clarification on that, thank you.
On it in one.
You
None of us do.
you're
I'm
welcome
imagining
to
like a
assume
koi
that if
carp.
it pleases you.
Like,
The fisherfolk aren't terribly interested in the coin for it because it's not worth anything to them innately.
Okay.
They're grateful
Yeah.
for the offer, but they gently decline.
how do they buy their beer then?
By selling the normal fish.
Yeah, but they're refusing coin now.
Well, they might not have sold that fish anyway, so.
Yeah.
Oh well. We made Kuji happy.
They're reassured that we're like nice people.
Yeah.
That we're not we don't mean them harm.
Yeah. And also, they're very skinny. They need better food.
Yeah, if fish is a delicacy, then it does bring into question the level of their diet.
Well, I guess we better start heading upriver then.
Okay. So the riverbank is reasonably straightforward going. It's not a road by any means, but it's kept fairly well clear by the fisher folk so that they can get easy access as and when they need it. It'll take you about an hour's walk upstream. As you go, you'll be able to see occasionally the white flash of another unusual fish in the waters beside you.
So they're
Fuji is
becoming
very interested.
So they're becoming more frequent as the further go.
Oh, they're still there, I guess.
They're not common. No matter how far up you go, but they are almost constant. They're every now and again there's one or two will go past, but they're notable because they're such an unusual colour amongst the water and the other fish.
Mm-hmm.
A good possibility of finding a fish hole to shove a friend into then.
Kind of wondering if we should try and catch more of them for Kuji.
Fishing minigame.
Well, hopefully they're not going to be sticking around too long. I mean, not in the negative sense, but in the sense that
Yeah, not if this fish hole operation goes sideways. Though.
Okay.
I'm just saying, be prepared to, bury an accidental drowning.
I don't want her to be hungry and jump in the river, try and catch some fish.
Well,
because
Just ate a whole fish. I mean,
yeah, but look at how she's watching them.
maybe she doesn't have them that often and she just wants to spoil herself.
Seeing how enthused Kuji is by these fish, Silic asks, "So are these fish a delicacy? Where you are from? Are they truly so rare?"
We have fish one time in month.
Oh.
Oh, honey. They don't have enough food at all.
well,
No
suck
wonder
at
they were
catching
stealing
fish.
turnips.
And never fresh.
Oh.
Always
No
so.
wonder she's ogling it.
I wonder. I wonder if it's just that things don't grow well there, or if more of it keeps coming through to this side, meaning there's not enough left for them. Well, we'll find out. We shall fix this.
Okay. Ahead of you in the water, you can see an unusual bubbling. It's not a weir, because it's only in the centre of the river.
There in the water. There's a strange bubbling. Let's Let's investigate, shall we, and get a little closer. I could perhaps go out on the water myself and have a look.
Yes, perhaps you should. I don't want to get my robe wet.
Oh, be careful though, because you don't want to get too close there. You might get sucked into and end up where knows who.
I'm a powerful swimmer and quite buoyant. All will be well. And,
Take a rope just in case.
an excellent idea. And he takes a rope out of his pack as he takes all of his gear off and puts it down on the ground so he's not going to be too heavy. And ties a rope around himself and passes it to the rest of the group. You may all want to grab hold of this. I'm quite weighty.
Very well.
Maybe we should loop it around a tree just in case.
Okay.
So once we're all set, Silik's gonna sort of slide down into the water, and because turtles are buoyant, they're meant to float. He kind of bobs on the top of the water and paddles out to have a closer look at this bubble, see if there's any sign of purple in particular, any indication of these flashes or anything like that.
Okay. It's not so deep that you can't walk on the riverbed if you so choose.
He's gonna.
But as you get to the to the edge of the bubbles, you can see that it really is just that every now and again one of the white fish pops up through the bubbles and sets off downstream.
Yeah.
This appears to be the source of the fish.
Do you see anything else? Anything weird? More weird than usual?
More weird than a fish portal.
I mean, it's in war. It could have been weirder.
No more than the fish appearing, it seems. Perhaps more water coming through with them, accounting for the bubbling.
It's so bizarre.
As you look to see the fish and the source of the bubbling, it definitely looks as though in the center of it is a patch that seems to be deeper than the river itself.
There's some kind of gap or hole at the bottom of the river here. I'm loath to attempt to reach into it, but perhaps we could.
And he starts swimming back towards shore and gets back to his feet.
Perhaps we could grab a branch or something, poke the hole, and see what happens.
Yes, that's some kind of experimentation is probably the way to go in this. We don't want to lose an appendage in that.
Or lose one of us.
Yes.
I think the turnip thing was risky enough. You could have been snatched through to the other side.
I know. Oh, that was a close one.
Silik looks around using survival if necessary and looks for the sturdiest, strongest, biggest, thickest branch he could pull down and just yank off of a tree.
Okay, that's fine.
And then turns to the group and says, "It shall do as a pool," and kind of pods down to the water side again and swims back out. And this time, I suppose, begrudgingly, because he didn't really want to get his legs completely wet, is going to stand up in the water and they'll kind of like poke the tree branch down into the hole and see what happens.
Okay. So, as you put the branch into the center of the bubbles, it certainly pushes a lot further than it should be able to for the river. And you probably can get 4 or 5 feet of branch into there before you start risking getting your hand into the bubbles.
Oh wow.
Stopping before putting hands in the bubbles, then I'm going to pull the branch back out and observe it to see if there's been any change to it. Is there any reaction from the hold as I pull it back out?
Okay. So you pull the branch back out and it's completely dry.
Okay, so it kind of like waves it around and turns to the others and says,
It's come out dry.
How wide is the aperture?
"How wide is the aperture?"
It's at least as wide as the branch.
How wide is the branch?
If it's how deep is this water? Is it like up to waist? Is it knees? Like how far are we talking here?
It's about low waist on a person of average height.
Okay.
It would be quite deep for Jack or for Kuji.
Because I can, I don't really need to do this for too long, but I can hold my breath for an hour. So I'm gonna pop my head down under the water, next to the bubbling, to the side of it, and kind of try and get a closer observation, and observe this hole in particular. Like, how big is it? Is it like, could an individual fit through this potentially?
Okay. So you duck down to take a closer look, and as your head breaks the water, the bubbling stops, and the sight in front of you is unmarked riverbed, exactly the same as everything else around it.
So like immediately pulls his head out of the water and splashes everywhere and turns and points and goes,
It stopped.
I'm assuming that he is still in the same place as us.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I have not split the party.
It's wise to check.
At the very least. Go ahead.
So like wades through the water back towards the group, kind of turning and looking back at the spot to see if it's come back as he moves away. And turns back saying,
Well, as you possibly observed, I put my head in the water and it simply stopped.
Do you think it'll start back up again?
I'm not sure. I do hope I have not dispelled whatever was occurring there. It may have been our only hope of getting Kuji back.
Maybe we should wait for a little while, see if it comes back.
is there any
Maybe it's taking a
sign,
break.
looking back to the water, is there any sign of whitefish coming from any further upstream? Like, has there been any in the time that we've been looking, potentially, as well? Like, because in particular, I guess I was in the water. Were there any coming past, or were they all coming from that place?
No,
far
the only source of the whitefish that you're aware of was the bubbles.
Okay.
Nothing passed from them. Okay.
And it seems like it stopped once it was being investigated, really. Unless it was very coincidental timing.
I thought it wise to observe it, but you may well be right. But then that infers some intelligence that someone was in control, or at the very least, that whatever caused this had a failsafe.
And why wouldn't it close in that case when the fish looked at it?
Maybe because of it's meant to be one directional.
He did stick that branch in there.
Yeah, you forced from the other side.
It wasn't until I placed my head in the water that the passage disappeared. There appeared to be some kind of hole at the bottom. I couldn't tell how wide it was.
Well, at the very least, we have come across quite a conundrum here, and we have stopped the flow of weird fish and also the flow of turnips away from Plista's farm.
Yes. And frankly, I feel somewhat sorry for Kuji being trapped through in a different world, but at least here she's getting enough food to eat.
Yeah, the girl needs to eat.
This is true. There is a place in the circle for all. And she will be welcome back in the village. Perhaps we should drop Kuji off and make our way. It is not our lot in life, I suppose, or at least our task right now, to be looking after her.
Perhaps. But we should really check if there's been any other report of things coming through to this world.
Yeah, because we can't be the only ones that have came across this. Because that's two in a very close proximity.
Yeah. 2 in a single day seems like far too much for it not to be happening elsewhere as well.
We should certainly report this back to Mercutio and let him know before we travel further on our journey. It would seem ill-advised to leave something quite so unusual in the hands of a messenger.
Yes, we should report in and tell them about these. We will beat the fishermen back there, and that way deliver the news about this bowl situation to ourselves. You know, not to us, from us. Look,
Directly from us to our superiors.
yes. I believe I've said to you all before about my need for sleep, and I've been awake nearly 6 hours now. This is quite a long day for me.
Well, it's a heroic effort. I can't blame you for having an adrenaline rush when you saw that turnip elemental. And he gives him a hearty slap on the back.
Yeah. Yes.
Raya is just sniggering to herself.
Oh, it was the best turnip monster ever. It's the best Halloween decoration. It's gonna be great.
Yes, dear.
Okay, so your options then at this point are to retrace your steps back to Valipur, which will be most of a day's travel at this stage, or to proceed on the knowledge that there are settlements within a day or two in your original direction of travel, and you know from your training that every settlement of any size has a representative of the circle there, and they're all able to communicate with other representatives as needed.
He wants to take the opportunity to correct my character.
Okay.
Because I feel like he's been the one that's like, I know all the things, I know the rules, and everybody should follow the rules, and I've just gotten a rule wrong. So this is an opportunity to... If anybody wants to take that swing.
No, I feel like... feel like Timidar wouldn't pull you up on that.
Well, at the very least, then Silik's going to grumble to himself as he kind of realizes as they're walking, thinking, "Hang on, that's no, this isn't protocol." And he stops the group and says, "We perhaps should not return to Mercutio. If we remember our training, then we should certainly continue on our journey and tell the next master of the next town exactly what has occurred here. It could be that there are more events occurring ahead of us. And if we're ever to finish our journey, then progress is the way forward."
I kind of like the idea. I don't think we should go backwards, to be fair. Onwards and upwards.
Well. Mercutio didn't seem to like me very much anyway, so yes.
And going into a big town like that might be too much for Kuchi.
Well, in the meantime, what say you, Kuji, to being a traveling companion?
Is there food?
Probably.
That's your food.
Okay.
Bless.
Oh, and then I guess at that point the group would turn about and just be like, oh, I guess we're going back the way we came for a few like paces.
We just start off like going back up the riverbank.
Go back up this way, singing a song, teaching Kuji how to sing a song.
Trying to remember where the river next meets the path to get to the next settlement.
Okay. So it'll take you another couple of hours, which will be bringing you towards dusk. Will bring you up to a bridge with a crossroads on just the far side of it.
Okay.
There's an old wooden signpost conveniently at the crossroads. Almost like people don't all have maps.
Mm-hmm. Are the signs still legible?
They are indeed. So the road you've just come from is obviously signed for Valipur. You have the options of north, towards which you know should take you towards the Greater Ixna, and is signed for Naglington. Or you can travel west, which should take you into the foothills of Narering, which is signed for Kupriberg. Beside the signpost is a nice, deliberate clearing. It's obvious that this is about as far as people tend to travel in a single day out of Valipur.
I think this might be where we camp.
Yes, good. To get my head down.
Okay.
Quite enough excitement for one day.
I take it you'll want last watch then.
Yes. The longer I can go uninterrupted, the better for my beauty sleep.
Okay. And
Remember.
what's the rest of the watch order?
I don't mind going first. I've got enough energy still.
Araya needs to not be going first.
Okay.
She's definitely feeling the effects of the not great night's sleep the night before.
In that case, then I will take the next watch, and we will allow you an unbroken sleep for a little while.
Okay.
Thank you, Philip.
So we'll be
I shall
going
listen.
Jack, Silic, Arya, and Timidar. Okay. You'll be delighted to know that it's a nice, peaceful night. Nobody's watch has any unusual events in it, and everybody gets the full effects of a long rest. When you wake in the morning, you feel more powerful. We'll bring our session to a close at the end of this milestone. We'll level the party up off stream, and next session you'll be level 2.
Oh. The power.
So,
Level up.
any last thoughts?
I enjoyed that.
Jack really wants to have like a giant turnip lantern for Halloween now. like, or even like a little one, like Koji had said earlier, like he'd like a little one to carry.
What a little
around.
turnip lantern.
Yeah,
Just carry around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn up on the way out and fashion.
Yeah,
for the way home.
I know.
Oh well. There's always more turnips.
Opportunity missed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, thank you for joining us this evening as our cast explored Varlastan, its inhabitants, and its secrets. We'd like to thank the Penance RPG sponsors, dndice.co.uk and Gemhammer & Sons Gaming, for supporting both the podcast and our other content. The Varlastan setting is built using World Anvil's excellent toolset, and we're releasing some of the setting content after the cast has experienced it for themselves. Check out the Varlastan Circle page on penancerpg.com for more information. You can find the Penance RPG podcast on your favourite podcast app, and we're on social media at Penance RPG. Dragon and Amy are cast members from Penance RPG, and I assist behind the scenes. AJ presents, and Eden appears in Pretending with Dice, an actual play variety podcast also available through all good podcast apps. The Varlastan Circle will return in 2 weeks with our freshly levelled camp party. To see the other scheduled streams on the Penance RPG channel, please check the stream information. And now I will hand over to Dragon to determine our raid target for the evening. Please stick around and join the raid, and when we get there, please remember to double click their streamer icon to make sure that Twitch registers properly as a viewer. We'll see you again soon. Dragon, who are we raiding?
I think we're going to raid into Vic the Viking. Vic is lovely. He's someone we met through a different RPG podcast, and his streams are always they're always like really good natured. So I think that's a good option. And here we go.
It does take.
Just kind of like
Let's awkwardly vamp for a few seconds before the raid kicks. I'm terrible at timing that on my own one. So we're like, yeah, let's raid, and then I click it, and I'm like,
yeah, I didn't realise like how long that was to
yeah.
go through, but